We are live and we are ready to hang out here. Jason is on vacation in Germany right now, so instead of doing an album review, thought we would just have a little bit of an informal hangout kind of thing. A lot of this is probably just going to be us talking and you guys get to just watch, because a lot of our discussions about music, I feel like, man, if only we were recording this, it would probably make a good, entertaining video. So that's probably what we're going to do here. But if anybody wants to put some questions down below in the comments, then we can get to those. Become like a Q&A. But I think pretty much for tonight, we're just going to be having some music discussions. So if anyone is watching the replay of this, we don't have anyone watching at the moment, but we may in a few minutes. But if anyone's watching the replay, be sure to go subscribe to Briar's Music Showcase and Townsend 909. Alright, gentlemen, how you doing this evening?
I'm good.
Yep, pretty good. Again, I said it just before we went on, but yeah, it's pretty warm up here in San Diego. Can't imagine what it's like in Texas, or not sure what it's like in yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah, I bet. What's your weather like, Nick?
Could be better, but it could be a lot worse though. So it's all right.
What is the weather like in where you live?
Mostly like in the 80s or 90s, but like it's very humid, which makes it feel a lot worse.
Yeah, gotcha.
Like I'd rather it be like scorching hot, but like be dry.
Well, that's good to think.
Well, I might be opening up a can of worms that we thought was closed for a long time, with a particular band that we used to talk about a lot, but here it is. I got a new album that I said I would never get because it was one of my least favorites by this band, but I decided to go ahead and get it anyway.
I know where this is going now.
Yep, here it is.
Alright. There you go.
I got the Who by Numbers CD. And maybe later in this video I'll go demonstrate my really cool CD player. But I got this new CD player. It's kind of like a jukebox. It'll play 100 CDs. And I thought I need some CDs for it, and thought maybe I should get some albums that I like, but maybe not enough to get on record. And since my roommate and I are going through the discography of The Who, I thought, you know what, this is the perfect one to buy. So here it is.
Alright.
Love that album.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it's underrated.
Oh, very underrated. You know what upsets me is that like songs like Success Story and Slip Kid are like not as big as the Squeeze Box, and I find that to be one of their more irritating songs. I don't hate it, I don't dislike it, but there are parts of it where I'm just like, oh, how is this the hit single off the album?
I know. Like, there's much better songs on here. Like, seriously, I think any other song on this album is better than that one. Like, Slip Kid, that could have been a big hit. Especially Success Story, Blue, Red, and Gray. Like, lots of great ones on here that I'm just like, this is the one that was a big hit. I just don't get that. But
every hit off the albums up until that one, I get why. Like, My Generation, of course, that has to be the hit. Of course, The Spider, I could see why a lot of people only really know that song. I Can See for Miles, I could see that. Pinball Wizard, I could see that. I wish Go to the Mirror was the big hit, but I could see why Pinball Wizard was. Won't Get Fooled Again and Bob O'Reilly, I could see why those were the big hits. Love Rain or Me, I could totally see why that one's it. Who Are You, I could see why, but Squeezebox always was a mystery to me.
Also, speaking of The Who, I finally got around to listening to their 1982 album, It's Hard, today. And I have some interesting opinions on it.
I'm ready to hear them.
It was pretty much what I expected. I mean, it's still good. Like, it still sounds like The Who, but I feel like they're pretty musically burnt out by the time they get to that album. Let me go ahead and just talk about the ones that I liked on that album, pulling up the track list real quick.
Yeah, I still haven't listened to that one. I just know Eminence Front.
You gotta check out the whole album. I love that album.
Yeah, at some point.
Okay, here we go. Athena is a good opener. I like that one. I like John Entwistle's horns on that one. That one's good. It's Your Turn and Cook's Country. I don't like those songs.
Okay.
I just don't like them. They were very, they were just boring. It's Hard, the title track. That's a good song. Dangerous. I like Dangerous. That's a really good song. And Eminence Front is well, it's either that one or another one on here that's my favorite. I've Known No War. I don't like that one. It was a little long.
That's fair.
One Life's Enough. One at a Time. Don't like those ones. Why Did I Fall for That might be my favorite song on the album. It's between that and Eminence Front. I really like that one. And A Man Is a Man and Cry If You Want Her Okay.
Okay. That's fair.
But
Yeah. You should check out Face Dances and on our revised ranking. We should
yeah, whenever we do
albums.
the revised, we'll include the two 80s albums.
The 2000 ones I hate because it has no Entwistle and it has no Keith the Moon, and to me it's not even the Who. It's just Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey just calling themselves the Who.
Yeah.
I don't even really consider themselves the Who anymore.
It's not the Who, it's the Two. Or it could be it's not the Who, it's the Who?
Yeah.
Okay, we got somebody watching. We got Basil, the vinyl guy. Hi, Basil. Or Basil. How is it going? We are discussing the Who's 80s albums because I got the Who by numbers here finally. And I got to listening to It's Hard today, and I have very mixed reviews on it. Some of the songs are great, like Eminence Front and Why Did I Fall for That and Dangerous, but then some of them I just thought were just kind of meh. I don't think there was anything that I didn't like on it. It was just very, very middle of the road. Like, it's probably my least favorite Who album I've listened to as of right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna predict now you're not really gonna like Face Dances. That's probably gonna be your least favorite Who album out of all the studio albums.
I still think it was worth a listen, though. It was good to hear some songs by them that I'd never heard before, but the Townsend seemed very musically burnt out on that album.
Yeah. Well, if you want my opinions on the tracks, I think most of them are really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
Maybe I just need to give it another listen.
This huge Who fan. It's not. I'm not gonna say like everything the Who touches is gold. I said there was like 6 songs I could care really less about. One of them is an '80s song called "Kashi Kashi" from Face Dances. I can't stand that song. I don't know why, but I'm just not crazy about that. One thing I gotta say though is you gotta check out some of. There's like a couple of solo albums. I'm like, well, 3 of them that I listened to so far that I'm like, wow, if only people really knew about this. One of them is Pete Townsend's first solo album, Who Came First. I love that album. I think, and I was just listening to this album on repeat a couple of days ago. It's called "Smash Your Head Against the Wall" by John Entwistle. I'll show the album cover. It's sort of John Entwistle's "All Things Must Pass" because it was a bunch of songs that he wrote for the Who that around the time when they were making Who's Next / Lifehouse, and Pete Townsend was denying them, and I consider this to be his "All Things Must Pass," and it's definitely my favorite Who solo album. I wouldn't say it's better than "All Things Must Pass," but I say it's basically his "All Things Must Pass" because of the the backstory.
Okay.
I'll send you guys links to the album because it's not on iTunes, and I'm really upset. I'm really upset it's not on there. It's a really great album.
Maybe you should get the record.
I gotta get the record. Imagine, like, I love My Wife, but these are like 9 songs that are just as good as My Wife. And,
oh wow, then I definitely have to listen to that because
yeah,
I've always really liked My Wife.
Yeah, the first track right away. If you ever listen to it, it's called My Size. It's a rocking song. I really love it. If you're a John Entwistle fan, it's an album you got to check out.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I'm a diehard Beatles fan, and there's still Beatles stuff that I don't like. My roommate and I were going through several discographies at once. We're going through Led Zeppelin, The Who, and ELO. or at least a few of ELO's albums. We're not listening to all of them, but Led Zeppelin, The Who, and the Beatles, we're going through all the albums, and we got to Yellow Submarine. Now, we only listened to the new songs. We just listened to the 4 new songs. We didn't listen to the 2 repeats, and we didn't listen to the B-side with the orchestral stuff, but I was like, some of these songs are really bad. Like, I don't like It's Only a Northern Song at all. It's annoying, and like as the trippy hippie would say, it hurts my head. And All Together Now is just annoying. Like, I know it was written for a kid's cartoon, but I just don't like that one either. But then Hey Bulldog came on. It was like such a breath of fresh air. And It's All Too Much is good, but I think it's maybe a little long. But
I'll give Yellow Submarine a break with the 2. Well, it's technically 1 repeat song because in the UK, they never had All You Need Is Love as a song on the UK album. It wasn't like they had Magical Mystery Tour. I mean, they had like the EP Magical Mystery Tour, but the only way they could have listened to it was a single. And to me, it's technically not a repeat track. If you're talking about in the US, then yeah, it's All You Need Is Love is a repeat track, but technically in the UK, it was actually a new song on an album. Yellow Submarine I could defend because why would they release a Yellow Submarine and not include
without Yellow Submarine?
That would make no sense. So I'll defend those 2 songs being on there all day long.
They should have done what they did in the 90s, though, and had it be a full Beatles soundtrack with more repeat songs, even though, like, I'm already saying, oh, here's repeat songs, but they should have had, like, When I'm 64 and Sgt. Pepper and Eleanor Rigby and all the songs that were in the cartoon.
And Nowhere Man.
Yeah, Nowhere Man.
That's my favorite scene in the movie.
And then you can throw in a few George Martin instrumentals, like Yellow Submarine and Pepperland is really good, but maybe not all the instrumentals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kind of going on this topic about, even though we're big fans of these bands, there's always something that there's always those songs that you probably don't like. Like, I mean, of course, Nick just talked about Who, and Kara just talked about the Beatles. Of course, for me, I'm a huge Queen fan. Even I can attest that there are some songs that I don't care for. I mean, songs that come to mind is like "Sweet Lady" off Night of the Opera.
I actually like that one.
Yeah, it's a good song, but to me, it's the
I like
most
the guitar
generic.
riff.
Yeah, it's
Pardon
probably
me
the most
for 1
generic
second.
sound.
I could just like if Bohemian Rhapsody and You're My Best Friend weren't the singles off the album, I imagine that being the big hit off the album because of how, like you said, generic sounding it is.
Maybe that's.
I've never liked that song because, like you said, it's generic sounding. That song and Good Company are like 2 songs that ruin to me what I would consider to be a perfect album. Besides those 2 albums.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Like other songs, I would probably include in there, like, and going on. There's a couple on Made in Heaven I think were just okay, but then probably the biggest offenders is that 20-minute ambient piece at the very end, which is kind of like, okay, I get it.
You got the best song on the album, yeah, and then the worst song on the album.
I know, right?
I was gonna say, like, they have a track called "Yeah," like it's like, yeah, like, gosh darn it. That's why I always consider A Day at the Races better than A Night at the Opera, because even though A Night at the Opera has more songs in it, I consider it to be more of a quality over quantity thing, because A Day at the Races to me has 10 amazing tracks, while A Night at the Opera has 2 really annoying tracks. So
the one for me on A Night at the Opera is I'm in Love with My Car. I don't like that one.
I love that track in a both ironic / unironic sense. Like when I first heard it, I love this track. But when I actually sat down and listened to it, I'm like, you know what? This song is kind of a bop, even though the lyrics are really weird.
I think there's better Roger Taylor songs, honestly speaking.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I totally agree. I mean, it's the same guy who wrote Radio Gaga, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that. I mean, it hurts me to say it, but I will say Roger was kind of the weakest songwriter of the group. But he's
I agree, but he still has some good songs.
Yeah, I think John Deacon was the strongest songwriter. I always found that the quiet one always made the best music for the band. George Harrison, John Deacon, my favorite bassist / just instrumental of all time, John Entwistle. Of course, there's Breyer, of course. You know, just the quiet bassist.
What about John Paul Jones?
Him too. I mean, the bass.
I don't think he was the strongest songwriter though. Even though Carousel Ombre is a bop that you should go totally check out if any of you guys watching have never heard it.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, I looked at a ranking of all the Led Zeppelin songs. Oh my god, it pissed me off.
No.
Gallows Pull at number 6.
Let's pull it up and let's pull it up and then I'll give my opinions on it live here.
Okay.
Same here. I don't think
just send it here in the chat and I'll go through. Or on the Sound Lab chat.
Okay.
I'm very curious to see what these people have to say.
Yeah, it really pissed me off when I saw it. I'm like, no, they did not. They did not just put that song at number.
Well, the thing about Led Zeppelin I found is that they have they're such a musically diverse band and have a lot of good songs that people like different things about them. And so one person's favorite isn't going to be another person's least favorite, other than everyone can pretty much consider that Coda is the worst one, but even though it's more of a compilation than an actual album.
I put it in the private chat.
Okay, let's see. Private chat.
And they put T for One. I think they put T. If I remember correctly, they put T for One higher than Since I've Been Loving You as well.
No.
They did. I think. I don't.
Here we go. All 74 of Led Zeppelin's songs ranked.
They
sorting the catalog of the loudest, heaviest band in the world.
You're gonna present it, or?
Oh yeah, that would be even better. Let's present.
Yeah. So that Briar could see them all as well.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's the 23 songs from the albums from all the albums besides
number 74, Moby Dick. Why is this not Hats Off to Roy Harper?
I don't get it. I
like Moby Dick. It's got great drums. Why is this number 7? I can instantly sing the riff to this. Just pull it off the top of my head. And then yeah, no, that's not the worst.
Yeah,
not even near it. Royal Orleans. Okay, maybe I can agree with that one, but maybe not that low. There's a few songs I think that are worse, but that one's just okay.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't hate it though.
Hot Song for Nowhere. Yeah, that one's not very good either.
Yeah, I don't like that song.
Hats Off to Roy Harper is way higher than it should be. That should be 74.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, before you continue, I just want to say that it's the 23 songs from the first album, the In Through the Out There, plus Hey Hey, What Can I Do?
Okay.
That's why it's 74, not 73.
The Crunge.
Yeah,
I can think of songs that are worse than The Crunge. Like, a lot of people say that's their worst, but it's a James Brown tribute. I actually like that song, honestly speaking. What the heck? Gallows Pole is number 69?
I can't do this.
No. This is... they says they don't understand the song?
It's
what?
in my top 5 favorite songs by them.
What in the world?
God, my brain is hurting just by looking at it. That again, I was out eating and I saw that and I'm like, no. They put Candy Store
Rock is higher than Gallows What?
Oh,
no. I'm gonna have to turn my mic volume down because I'm getting upset. That's awful. No. Candy Store Rock is not better than... Okay. For Your Life.
It's not bad.
That one's okay, but that's about where it needs to be. Your Time Is Gonna Come. Why is that lower than the Lemon Song?
Thank You at 64.
What?
Yeah, I love Thank You. It's a good one.
Okay, the Lemon Song is about properly rated, but Thank You is way too low.
I love the Lemon Song, but
I kind of like the Lemon Song too.
Yeah, I like the first half of it.
I love the ending though, how it the actual vocals go into Thank You though.
Okay, why is Achilles' Last Stand that low? That's the one song on present. Oh, wait, they have Nobody's Fault But Mine higher than Achilles' Last Stand?
They
I'm gonna
put
have
T
to-
for One higher than that song too.
I'm gonna have to make my own Led Zeppelin ranking. I Can't Quit You. Okay,
Yeah,
why
I
is
got
I
you
Can't
going.
Quit You Baby higher than Thank You? And where's You Shook Me? Why is
You
that
Shook Me-
not?
Yeah.
I can't. I can't.
Nobody's Fault But Mine. 61. Okay. Why is Since I've Been Loving You at number 60? That's my favorite song on 3.
Oh, I'm glad it is. It's my fourth favorite, but it's only behind That's the Way, Gallows Pulling Out of the Tiles.
Yeah, that's too low. The Wanton Song, I like that one too. Why is that one? Why is T for One higher than that one?
Oh my god.
Why is T for One just too higher than Since I've Been Loving You, even though it's the same song but worse? Why? I like Since I've Been Loving You a lot better than Custard Pie.
Me too. And I love custard pie, so.
Celebration Day at 50. I like Celebration Day. That's a good one.
I can see why it's low though.
Like, it would be lower, but oh my goodness, why is Carousel Ombre at 55?
Yeah, look at the
That song is
description.
underrated.
Such a throwback. Why stuff?
Why is Down by the Seaside better than Carousel Ombre? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I can understand that one.
The Rover is criminally underrated. Why is that
Yeah,
at 53?
absolutely.
Well, Out of the Tiles on 52? I love that one. That's another one of my favorite ones.
A nice
on 3.
freaking chorus.
What? 4 Sticks is higher than Carousel Ombre and the Rover and Out on the Tiles?
That's the weakest song on 4.
4
Yeah.
Sticks is... Why is 4 Sticks this high? Are these people hear Led Zeppelin the same as I do? Because like their ranking is a lot. Their ranking is frankly terrible.
This is why I don't take these lists that seriously.
What can I do?
Hey, what can I do? At 50, I actually like that song. It's pretty good.
Should have closed out the third album.
Southbound Soiree is my least
above
favorite
that.
song on In Through the Outdoor. What's it doing above my favorite song, Carousel Ombre?
Yeah, I know. That pisses me off too.
Living Loving Made at 48. Like, I
Nice.
know Jimmy Page doesn't like it because like
Yeah.
he did it as a diss track to a real person, but like it's got a great guitar riff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it gets stuck in your head.
And it like for me, you can't have Heartbreaker without Living Loving Made.
Same
like,
with the other way around.
together. Sick Again is better than. Why is Sick Again that high?
How is Sick Again higher than Gallows Pull? That's what I'm wondering.
I have no idea. It's like, Sick Again is just, for me, it's such a weak way to end the Physical Graffiti album. Like, I made a playlist recently of my single album version of Physical Graffiti, and it would have been like my second or maybe even my favorite Led Zeppelin album. And, like, the way I did it, there was even a few tracks left over that they could put on Presents that was better than what they actually had. Like, if you put In My Time of Dying as the final song on Presents instead of T for One, and then put Custard Pie instead of Candy Store Rock, then that makes Presents a million times better.
I agree. Friends.
Friends at 46.
Heartbreaker.
I love Friends.
I like this song, but why 46? I'm gonna have to make my own ranking of all these. Heartbreaker at 45. That's one of my top 10 Led Zeppelin songs. No. The Ocean is way too low. No. 44. No, that's too low. What? That's the way of 43?
A not quite convincing number from 3. How?
How is that not quite convincing? That's like the best acoustic song on that album. In My Time of Dying from Physical Graffiti.
I could see why. Well, I think it's perfect length, but some people might consider it too long. I could see
Why is Black Mountain Side higher than In My Time of Dying, Since I've Been Loving You, and Carousel Ombre?
and Gallows Pole.
And Gallows, and that's the Black Mountain Side's better than That's the Way?
Yeah.
This
no.
person needs to never rank again.
Who is this person? And are they a
Yeah, who
real Led
wrote
Zeppelin
this?
fan, or did they just listen to this once and then just rank them just to do it?
I felt like they just threw in songs.
No.
Oh no.
10 Years Gone at number 40? This song is
Oh.
amazing. Okay. What is and what should never be? I like
think
that
that's
one,
I
but
think
why
that's
is
too
that above Heartbreaker?
Yeah.
I don't get
Yeah.
it.
Oh, you're gonna hate that Boogie with Stew's that.
Boogie
high.
with Stew is at number 38?
Why-
Why is Boogie with Stew so high? It's just like a little jam track.
I have to ask one question. Who in the right mind says, yeah, this song's way better than Since I've Been Loving You, Gallows Pole, That's the Way,
How is
Heartbreak.
Boogie with Stew better than That's the Way? This is so stupid. Why are... I don't know. Bronner R Stomp. Why is Bronner R Stomp at number 37? That's way too high. That's like one of my least favorite songs on 3.
It's great, but yeah, I agree. It's my
Yeah.
least favorite of the 4
Like,
tracks from
it's a
side.
good song. It's just like it's one of the weaker ones on 3.
Mhm.
Again, by just saying that comparatively, hats off to Roy Harper. It's on a completely different level of badness. But Bronner R Stomp is my second to least favorite. I'm gonna crawl at 36.
Good.
That's a
but
good song, but
it's
it's
too
up a
high.
little high.
It's a little higher than it should be.
And why is it higher than Carousel Ombra?
And why is it higher than Gallows Pole? I'll never get over that.
At least I think they have a lot of In Through the Outdoor songs ranked pretty high, so I'll give them that. Going to California at number 35. Maybe a little too low?
It's a stab at my stage.
How many more times at 34? This is one of my
no.
10 favorite Zeppelin songs.
That's too low.
This song is epic. No Quarter at 33. That needs to be higher. That used to be my least favorite song on Houses of the Holy, but then like I've listened to it a lot and it's really cool.
It's a grower. I'd say that.
Like it's like painting a picture of Vikings about to go off to war, and then John Paul Jones's creepy Mellotron on that, and like it's really cool. Like Houses of the Holy, I'm gonna say that's a perfect album. A lot of people would say not because of the grunge, but I think that's a perfect album. The song of Houses of the Holy from the album Physical Graffiti, I think that's way too high.
They should have named Houses of the Holy.
The song
Over the
remains
Hills
the
and Far-
same, or
That's
Over the
a good-
Hills and Far.
Over the Hill, like they would have fit the album cover, but this song remains the same. It's a better name, but
They ended up calling their live album The Song Remains the Same.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bring It On Home at number 31.
Yeah.
That's a good
too high.
song.
That's
but
too
it's-
high.
Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-do.
Communication Breakdown at 30? Like, I feel like that should be at least number 20.
Yeah.
Misty Mountain, why is Misty Mountain Hop
Yeah.
higher than Communication
Yeah.
Breakdown?
That's too high.
Hot dog.
Hot dog.
Hey, Hot Dog at number 28.
Hey, at
Oh,
least
wow.
at least they
Some-
appreciate
this
that
hot
song.
dog gets some love.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Hot Dog, but it's not number 28 for me.
Yeah, no.
The Raid song being at
Yeah.
27 though.
The Rain Song at 27. Okay, that's my favorite Led Zeppelin song, and you guys may not agree that it should be number 1, but, like, 27 is too low.
You know, I'm wondering if this site's done other band song rankings.
Maybe. I'll have to check it out.
You
Yeah.
shook me at 25?
What?
Yes. Oh.
How is that song over so many other songs by then?
Why is that so?
Wow.
Well, hey, Jacob Martin, if you're watching, You Shook Me is number 25, and Jacob Martin really likes that song.
Yeah, he'll it'll get the Jake Martin. Maybe Jake Martin made this list. Who knows?
No, no,
Let's not throw that much shade at him.
no. Jacob would probably have a lot better Led Zeppelin ranking than this.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, most definitely.
Speaking of which, we gotta get our Led Zeppelin 2 review pretty soon.
Yeah, my notes
Yeah.
are ready for that.
We just
Oh.
gotta wait for Jason to get back from Germany, and then I'm ready.
What?
I bet you
It's
Jacob's ready too, because he didn't really like 1 a whole lot, and I think he's really gonna like 2.
Yeah, I can imagine Mark Butler making something like this though. This list. You're so
Yeah, this.
so much better than that.
You know what? I think
Follow-
this might be Mark Butler's list. Night Flight. Night Flight's a pretty good song. I can see why it's so high, but I don't like it as much as like number 26.
Yeah.
Ramble On. Okay, Ramble On might be appropriately ranked.
Yeah, I can kind of see it there.
Probably my least
Fool in the
favorite.
Rain. Fool in the Rain's another one.
Okay, Fool in the Rain is
I can
great.
see why. I can see why it's up here.
I like Fool in the Rain.
Yeah, it's good.
Black Country Woman is my least favorite song on Physical Graffiti, and they have it ranked above lots of songs that I like a lot better than that.
How? Wait, before I continue, how is that song higher than most of the acoustic stuff? I mean, all the acoustic stuff. Well, yeah, most of the
No.
acoustic stuff from Zeppelin 3. This is the weakest, one of the weakest acoustic numbers. How? Just how? Like, this is a lot worse than Gallows Pole, and that song's at number 69.
This song is the closest that Led Zeppelin ever got to making filler, in my opinion. Why is it at number 22? Okay. Bronner, the simple instrumental piece, has beaten 80% of Led Zeppelin's discography. How?
Yeah, all
Oh
the
my
instruments should
God.
be at the bottom.
Black Dog. I like Black Dog, but I don't like it that much. But I can see why it's up that high.
Yeah,
That song
it's,
got overplayed where I live, so I don't like it at all now.
Hey, Trampled Underfoot's got some representation here. That's a really
that's
good one.
Okay, not,
Yeah.
not too
I
bad.
forgive the person making this list for
That's
that.
like 1 point to this person.
Okay, Dancing Days. I like Dancing Days. I don't think
like
it should be
Yeah,
number
yeah,
18,
that means
but
I guess that means Dire Maker's gonna be pretty high.
hey Nick, In the Light's number 17.
No. Whatever. I could see why
They ranked
it's
it
on-
higher than they ranked it 10 higher than the Rain song. How do you think I feel right now?
Yeah, I can see you're upset. You know what? I'm after really thinking about it. I don't know. Like, I'm starting to think Gallows Pole is my favorite Led Zeppelin song. I listened to that song a couple of times now, and I'm like, man, that song just rocks. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, I like that's about where I'd place Rock and Roll, 16.
That's another song that got overplayed on the album.
Rock and Roll was my favorite Led Zeppelin song there for a time. In the Evening Rocks. I like
it's a
that
good
one.
It's a good one. I think it's a bit high for it.
Jamaica.
Dire Maker. Yeah, Jamaica. 14.
When the Levee Breaks at 13?
How's that not a top 10? That's one of my top 10 favorites.
That needs to be at least 11. Anyway. Okay, The Battle of Evermore is actually my least favorite song on
Yeah.
the Untitled album.
Yeah,
I love Battle of
I'm like-
Evermore.
Yeah, it's good, but
Like
wouldn't
I
put it
like
at
the
12.
I like the Lord of the Rings references, but I just think it's a little boring.
I think it's
Yeah,
really
it's good. It has good mandolin playing.
What's number 11?
Okay, hey, Tangerine is number 11.
Yeah, that's all got high on the list. I'm glad.
All my love.
All of My Love is okay. I think All of My Love actually is my number 10.
All of My Love, fun fact, it was a song by Robert Plant. He
Her
wanted
son.
it was a song for someone, and Jimmy Page didn't want it on the album, but it was nice enough to let it be on the album. So
It was a tribute to his son who died of a stomach issue. His son was like a kid, and he died of a stomach issue.
Yeah.
So, like, just for that fact alone, I think that's why it's my favorite song on, or my second favorite song on In Through the Outdoor. Okay,
Remains
the
the
song
Same.
remains the same is pretty
Okay.
epic.
I like it. I don't mind that one.
The Immigrant Song, that's fairly rated.
Yeah.
that's my favorite leg opener for Led Zeppelin album.
Babe, I'm gonna leave.
Babe,
you.
I'm Gonna Leave You, that's a good one.
That's
Good
good.
choice for number 7. Over the Hills and Far Away. Okay, now we're getting to ones that I maybe could agree with.
That's my favorite song on the album.
Dazed and Confused.
I can see why.
I
It's
like
up there.
that song, but I feel like there's better on one.
I agree.
Stairway to Heaven at number 4. Whole Lot of Love at... Wait, where's number 3?
Yeah, wait, what? Did we skip 3?
4. Stairway to Heaven. maybe Whole Lotta Love is 2 or 3.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
there's 2 number 2s. Whole Lotta Love is number 3.
Oh.
Okay.
Good times, bad times.
I like Whole Lotta Love, but like it's actually not one of my like top 10.
Yeah, same here.
I agree.
It's a good opener though.
Yeah.
Good times, bad
Okay.
times.
And we already know what number 1's going to be. It's Cashmere.
Cashmere. I like Cashmere, but it's not my number 1.
Yeah,
I can see why it's their
I
number
get
1
it.
though.
I get it.
My favorite Zeppelin song is like so many could be, but like 3 like songs that I'm confident. Well, 4 songs I could confidently say could be my favorite is 1 in the Light, 2 Gallows Pole, 3 That's the Way, and 4 Carousel. Those 4 are interchangeable.
Maybe we should do a top 10 Led Zeppelin songs after we do all the album rankings.
Down
Yeah.
with
But that list needs help.
that? Yeah. It was entertaining at least.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, never let that person rank again.
No.
He's the kind of person that would say like Harmony of Cities in the Sky is like one of the worst Who songs, but then like say Fiddlebat was like one of their favorites. That's how I felt about
It was
that.
Townsend's self-expression of an incident that happened when he was a child. Like,
That's how
that song does not need to exist. It's
That's
awful.
how I felt. That's how I felt with Gallows Pole being at number 69, and some of the other ones being ranked a lot higher than that one is. That's how I feel. It's like if like they had like either Harmony of City and Sky or Relax at like very low, and then have like Fiddle About or Squeezebacks like really high. Like, oh, these are masterpieces. They symbolize, you know.
No.
Like, shut up.
Now I've got Gallows Pole stuck in my head. Swinging on the gallows pole.
Hangman. Oh man, that song is.
Led Zeppelin 3 is slowly becoming my favorite Led Zeppelin album.
Oh man, if it wasn't for that one track, it would be my.
I don't think it's gonna beat Houses of the Holy, but like, it's getting in its way, just because all the music on there is just really fresh. Like I can listen to it a bunch and it doesn't get boring.
Mm-hmm.
Like and the acoustic numbers really like. It's like, why didn't they play these more often?
Yeah, definitely. I love what's it called? I'm starting to think Led Zeppelin 2 is my second favorite Led Zeppelin album because there's not a single bad track off that album.
It's a good listen all the way through. I
Like-
don't know why I have it ranked so low on my list, but I think it's just because they have a bunch of amazing albums.
Like I'd say Led Zeppelin 3 has better highs than Led Zeppelin 2, but the one low on Led Zeppelin 3 is a lot lower than.
Yeah, if they put "Hey Hey What Can I Do" on it instead,
It'd be my favorite Zeppelin album.
but there you have it.
Oh, man. Hats off to Roy Harper. I was re-listening to that track. I'm like, let's re-listen to it just for the heck of it again. And I listened to it and hearing Robert playing distorted vocals with that awful.
No, it's awful from the first second because of that sound that. It's like no.
Man, I like if I was Roy Harper and I listened to that record at the time, I'd be like, man, they insulted me way bad.
You know what I found?
What?
Roy Harper's greatest hits album is called Hats Off.
Oh no.
Speaking of Roy Harper, Wish You Were Here, the Pink Floyd album, when he sings on Have a Cigar.
Yep.
I'm just transitioning because I want to talk about Wish You Were Here. Because that is going to be the next record I buy. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That might be my new favorite Pink Floyd album.
Might be my
It's
second
between
or third.
that and The Wall. Like, The Wall has always been my favorite, but Wish You Were Here just keeps getting better every time I hear it.
Yeah.
I know Nick is more into the early stuff,
Yeah.
but I have a question though. Why do you like the Ummagumma album so much? Because I know a lot of people are like it's their worst. So
I think the
you must have a
Ummagumma.
reason.
Well, it's my favorite mostly because of the live stuff. Like the 4 live tracks in the
Okay.
beginning are just so awesome, and uh, also even though it has that weird animal creatures noises song, it has
Several species of small furry animals.
it has it has like the narrow way part 1 through 3, and that's to me just showcases how great David Gilmour was, because there's like each section of the album is recorded just by the Pink Floyd member, and I think that's such an awesome idea, and I love like it's funny because the Several Species one is made by the same guy who made The Wall entirely, that track. Crazy, right? But I love Grantchester Meadows. That's a really
you
nice.
want to hear something terrible?
What?
Roger Waters finally released his first
I
thing
listened
from
to
Dark
it.
Side of the
Oh my
Moon
God.
Revisited. I'll say I'm glad he's not trying to replace the original album, but what I will say is that what I've heard is absolutely terrible.
So boring.
It sounds nothing like it's Money. That he's released Money as a single, and it sounds nothing like the song Money should. Like I couldn't get through the whole thing.
Yeah, it's basically Rogers trying to sound like Tom Waits or later Leonard Cohen. It's just like it just doesn't work. And he's also doing like this weird poetry thing in the middle during what would have been that instrumental break. In the
Yeah, where's the
original,
saxophone?
Yeah, it's just
Well,
I'm probably gonna listen to it when it comes out, but I'm not gonna buy it.
Some people need to just stop when you're ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
mean Rogers. Rogers' ego is just through the roof at the moment.
If you want people to have a good view of you, just stop whenever you've made really good albums. Like, you can keep touring, but don't make any new albums, because
Or at least rework some of your masterpieces from the past.
yeah, don't touch anything you've already made. That's another thing. Like, again, with this album here, this is the 1980s CD, because I don't think it was The Who was behind it, but some people decided to remix the whole catalog in the 90s, and in my opinion kind of ruined some of it. Like, the Who Are You album, I feel, is almost ruined by what they did to it.
Speaking of Pink Floyd, there was a commenter that said more soundtrack. I love the soundtrack.
Oh, that's Edward from Prog Hat.
Yeah,
love
I'd
that.
say more by Pink Floyd, sort of like their Yellow Submarine, because it has a bunch of songs by them, but it has a lot of instrumentals, and it was a movie soundtrack. I love a lot of the songs. You should check. I should send you the songs, Gary. You should check out just the songs. Cirrus Minor, the Nile song, which
Yeah, Nile
is
song's
very.
good.
I love the Nile song. Crying song's great. Green is the color I like. Cymbeline, you'll probably think is the best track, which I don't blame you. That song's amazing. And Ibiza Bar, or Ibiza Bar, or whatever how you pronounce it, is great. The only instrumental track I like from the album is Main Theme, but rather than that, it's a really good album.
Yeah, it's decent.
I,
It's decent.
well, you're talking to an early Pink Floyd fan, so
Yeah, well, that's my opinion on it.
I don't know why I've never been able to get into early Pink Floyd.
hey,
And it's, I mean, those early albums are very British as well.
oh yeah,
Also very huge part.
I showed a coworker of mine, Piper at the Gates of Dawn, and I showed them Saucer Full of Secrets, and once he got to Corporal Clegg, he's like, "Is this the Who?" And I'm like, "No." He was like, "It sounds like something the Who would make, like in their weird era, like the Who sellout era, like the instrumentation on Corporal Clegg with the kazoo. That sounds like something the Who would do." And I'm like, "I could see that."
I can see for miles and miles.
Like the John Whistle stuff like Heinz Baked Beans and Medak.
Except, like, I like that stuff. Like, I don't like the first two Pink Floyd albums.
The Small Faces, though. Speaking of weird stuff, Small Faces, though.
Ogden's Nut Gone Flake.
Here we go.
Hover.
Oh boy.
Oh man, it gets more. Even though I've heard that album millions of times, that those in between parts.
I've heard it twice. Actually, 2.5 times.
The in between parts never gets old. It's so entertainingly stupid. It was like the Lane and Dangly.
I'm looking for the other half of the moon in Dangley.
I just knew Steve Marriott and Ronnie Lane just had the funnest time making that record.
I bet.
That
If
album,
if they even remember making it.
yeah, they were so high out of their minds probably. I mean, Pete Townsend likes the Small Faces.
He does.
He even includes Ronnie Lane on one of his solo songs. Like
And
he had him write one of his songs.
And his choice to replace Keith Moon was
Jones.
Kenny Jones. So Pete Townsend was a huge, even on one of my reissues of 1967, and there are but Small Faces. It has like a little quote by Pete Townsend. It's like very exceptional music. I forgot what it said, but yeah, he. I'd say Ogden's No Flake is like their Dark Side of the Moon because they didn't know what to do after it got really popular. It was their only #1 album, and they didn't know what to do with it. Steve Marriott wanted to bring in Peter Frampton as their guitarist. None of the band members wanted him as the guitarist for some reason, and that sort of broke the band apart. And, that's when Faces formed. That's when Humble Pie formed, and the rest is history. Hey, even Robert Plant likes Steve Marriott. His vocal, like the first the first 4 Led Zeppelin albums. I say Robert Plant had a strong Steve.
Oh no, Whole Lot of Love was essentially a cover of a Small Faces song.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and I'd say, hey, even when Jimmy Page went to form his new band, he tried having Steve Marriott as a lead vocalist. So
the New Yardbirds.
They should that just shows you how influential the Small Faces were. People usually say, "Oh, the Beatles, oh, the Rolling Stones," but people don't realize that there are other bands that made influential music.
I didn't realize how Jimmy Page was everywhere on 60s songs that I didn't know. He plays the guitar on I Can't Explain by The Who. He plays the intro to You Really Got Me by The Kinks. I didn't know that. He plays rhythm guitar on the instrumental version of This Boy on the Hard Day's Night soundtrack, which I didn't know either. So, apparently...
Yeah. He also played on Joe Cocker's With a Little Help from My Friends album.
He also Ray Davies made a song, like the Kinks member, Ray Davies made a song about him. It was either him or Nicky Hopkins. He made a song that's called Session Man. You can make your judgment on who it might be about. Ray Davies says it's a love session, not love session. It was supposed to be like a love letter for that Session Man, but to me it just sounds like backhanded compliments. Like, oh, he's not here to think, he's just here to play. And I'm like, dude.
Oh, I still need to listen to Something Else by the Kinks.
Something
by the
else.
Kinks.
It's not on that album. It's on Face to Face.
I've listened to Face to Face. I've heard that song. That was probably my favorite song on that album.
Oh, you like that song?
Yeah.
Do you think it sounds like a love letter, or do you think it sounds like a?
No, it was definitely backhanded compliments.
Yeah, I think it. Some people say it's about Jimmy Page. Some people say it's about Nicky Hopkins. What do you think?
I don't know.
I personally think it was him talking down to whoever he was singing about. It was either, I'm most likely certain it was Jimmy Page though, because yeah.
Page on Mellow Yellow.
Oh, it's a Donovan song. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones played on a number of Donovan songs.
Where was I know John Bonham was a drummer for somebody, but I forget who.
Yeah. John Paul Jones and Jimmy Page were on one of his more popular songs, Hurdy-Gurdy Man, which, fun fact, was inspired from Green Circles by the Small Faces.
Huh.
Green Circles is amazing, though. It definitely showcases why Pete Townsend chose Kenny Jones as their replacement drummer.
Speaking of Led Zeppelin 3, what are some albums that you guys like that you feel are underrated in the discography that maybe other people don't seem to talk about as much, or maybe other people even don't like, but you're like, I don't understand why other people don't like this very much?
The Who by Numbers.
Question. Yeah, I mean, that's one. Jazz from Queen is a bit one that comes to
People
mind.
don't like jazz.
Yeah, oh yeah. There's people who
I
don't
like
care for
that. I think
jazz so
that
much.
isn't that Jason's favorite Queen album.
Yeah, it is, and that's and good for him because I love jazz as well. But to
Hot
most
take
people,
alert.
it's like usually in the middle of most people's rankings.
Hot take alert. I think Hot Space is extremely underrated and is a guilty pleasure.
No, I hate that album.
I
I'm
don't
with you,
know.
Nick.
I love the majority of that album. Staying Power is so fun. I love Dancer.
I will say some of the songs on Hot Space sound much better live.
Back
Like
Chat.
Staying Power live sounds a lot better.
I agree. Back Chat. You
Yeah,
would
people
rather
hate Back
be
Chat for
sing-
some reason. I don't know why.
That's one of John Deacon's best songs, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love that song.
Maybe I
I'm
just
so
need to
glad-
listen to it again. I don't know.
I'm so glad I met a Queen fan that actually likes Hot Space. My little brother likes Hot Space, and he's not a music person.
Briar is the Queen fan, though.
I mean, to be fair,
Queen
my
is
little
his
brother,
Beatles.
They're my
I mean,
Beatles.
they're my who. So yeah. Them. To be fair, it's also you're coming from the. I mean, not you, but coming from the same person that says his favorite song is Octopus Scar. Not you, Garrett, either. It was my little brother. That's his favorite Beatles song is Octopus's Garden.
Okay.
I know, it's kind of a
Ringo
weird.
needs some fans.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the only song he likes by him though.
Yeah, my roommate, when we're listening through the Beatles discography, he said, "So when does Ringo get good?" And I said, "Octopus's Garden." He said, "Wait, isn't that the last one he wrote?"
Don't Pass Me By is great though.
No, he agreed that A Little Help from My Friends and Don't Pass Me By were good.
I love those tracks.
Although I'm not even too big of a fan of the Ringo album.
Really?
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I liked it.
I like
That's a good
Photograph though.
Yeah, that's a good song.
You know what I hate about Bohemian Rhapsody? Not the song, the movie. You know what I hate about Bohemian Rhapsody? I know, you guys were ready to tear up your pitchforks.
Pitchforks.
You know what I hate about Bohemian Rhapsody is that they
The
portray
inaccuracies?
Freddie Mercury as this monster, this
Oh,
this
okay,
jerk and all that, and he was like, "Oh, you went solo? How could you?" And then
Yeah.
if you're actually a Queen fan and you
that's
research
yeah,
it,
John
that's
Deacon
you would
went
actually
solo
find out that
first.
Roger Taylor made a solo album before him. So
Yeah,
why
I will
aren't they calling-
say, in the movie, I think on one critique, and I think a lot of people have agreed that the movie definitely doesn't show a lot of Freddie's humor because Freddie was very funny to the people that knew him, and so it would have been nice to have more of his humor and his style of humor in there.
Also, Queen never broke up. I don't know what they're talking
That's
about.
right.
Freddie Mercury broke up with Queen,
then there's the
reformed at
whole-
Live Aid
Yeah, and then,
Yeah.
the whole AIDS diagnosis being done way too early.
right before. Yeah.
right before.
Yeah, the whole movie just bothers me. Like when I first got into Queen, I thought it was a great movie, but like after actually knowing Queen and knowing the albums and knowing the history, that movie sucks.
I still like the movie. That just
for
it
its
just
faults,
has
I still
issues.
think it's fun.
I will say it has that
still a fun
funny
film.
moment where it's like, "You call me sweet, like I'm some kind of cheese." It's like, and then Brian May's like, "That's good." And it was like, when I get my hands on your grease gun, he's like, "It's a metaphor."
What are you doing to that call, Roger?
What are you doing to that car exactly? And then like Freddie Mercury's like, "We only have room for one funny thing." And then he throws the food at them. He's like, "Is that strong enough for you?" Oh man, that scene doesn't fail to crack me up. That's like one of the few scenes I actually still like from that movie.
I like all the scenes that show them like making the songs in the studio.
Yeah, not very much of those scenes though.
Yeah,
Which
not really.
I would have loved to see them making in the Laps of the Gods, the way they did that track.
Nick, have you ever seen?
Sorry, you go ahead.
Oh, I'm kind of switching topics, so you go ahead first.
Oh yeah. I was just about to ask, like, for both of you, what is your favorite musical biopic?
Okay, here's
None.
what I was just about to ask Nick. It's one of my favorite musical biopics, but Nick, have you ever seen Love and Mercy, the Beach
That's
Boys
my
movie?
favorite.
Oh,
That's my
actually, I
favorite
did
film.
watch it. Never, I completely forgot about that one.
Lots more studio. Like you can see
Oh, yeah.
Paul Dano, the guy who plays Brian Wilson. Like it extensively shows him doing pet sound sessions. like showing him working with the Wrecking Crew, and it even like shows some of the Smile sessions too.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that movie. I forgot about that movie for
Yeah,
a second.
that's my favorite
That's the
biopic.
only accurate one. I love that scene
Yeah.
where they're talking about Rubber Soul, and he's like, "I need to make an album better than that." It's like I need to make the best album ever. And even though that probably didn't, that definitely wasn't how it went down. I could imagine that's how it went down though. Like he's like, "Oh man, I gotta one up that album. I gotta make an album better than that. I gotta make the perfect album." I could imagine him saying it like that.
Yeah, that film just perfectly.
That movie
shows
helped me to
Brian's
understand Pet
personality.
Sounds a lot better.
Yeah, if you just listen to Pet Sounds based off the critics and all that, and not critics, but like fans of music, and you're just like, okay. And then you listen to the album, you're just like, okay, what is this?
What makes Pet Sounds great is how personal it is to Brian Wilson. It's basically an expression of himself musically. That's really what the album is.
I have a question for both of you guys. Like, if Mike Love wasn't, the tyrant he was of generic music and all that, do you think Smile would have been put out?
I probably maybe,
No.
but then again, there was Brian's drug habit.
If it would have, like, Mike Love was only part of it. There was other things. Brian's drug use. And honestly, I think Brian just gave up because the Beatles beat him with Sgt. Pepper came out first. Like, if Brian could have got it out before Sgt. Pepper, it would have went. But from what I heard, when Brian Wilson heard Strawberry Fields on the radio, that's the moment Smile ended. Because he said, that's it, they beat us.
Yeah, people often say, like, oh, Beatles versus Rolling Stones, but to me, the real rivalry was Beatles versus Beach Boys.
Yeah. I might get some hate for this, but I don't feel like the Rolling Stones are kind of in the same league.
Oh, I agree.
I still like the Rolling Stones, but not as much.
I gotta say though, I said this one time already on your live stream when you're showing off your records. Like, there was a channel, as it should be. He's the one who introduced me to the track versus track format, and he came up with an awesome idea. Like, what if we took the best tracks off of the early albums, like All Summer Long and Shut Down Volume 2, take the best tracks off of those, make an album. Those albums could have
Yeah, because they were releasing like 2-3 albums a year or something like that.
Yeah, and
I might go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and pull up the Beach Boys discography. And we can look at the 2 albums that were released close to each other and make the best album out of that one.
Yeah, just picking the songs though. I can't.
Okay.
I can't think of track listing off of the top of my
Surfing
head.
Safari and Surfing USA. First off, I'd call the album Surfing USA because I like that title better.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get, let's see, there's 12 songs on that one. And there are 12 songs on Surfing USA, so I'm guessing it's going to be a 12-track album then.
Mm-hmm.
So from Surfing Safari, all I'm keeping is Surfing Safari, 409, and Surfing. Everything else I'm taking off.
Okay.
I'm only doing the 3
that's
from
fine.
there,
That's good.
and I'm going to replace it with the 3 weakest ones on Surfing USA.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
fair.
That'd probably be good.
So I'm going to take off Lana because Brian Wilson sounds like has a cold or something on that song.
Song's garbage.
I'm also going to take off Honky Tonk because that's an instrumental, and I'm going to take off Surf Jam, and then insert those other 3 songs.
Okay.
And then we've got the perfect version of Surfing USA.
My turn. I'd say keep Surfing Safari. I love that track. Keep Little Girl, You're My Miss America. I love that track, so that's cool. Keep 409 and Surfing, obviously. Those 2 tracks are a must. I love Cuckoo Clock I think that's an amazing track. That's a great vocal debut by Brian Wilson, and that's about it. And for me, it would be replacing the 5 weakest tracks from Surfing USA. So I agree, Lana. Get rid of it. Finders
Song is-
Keepers. Get rid of it.
That song actually is Mickey Mouse with the sore throat.
Yeah, Finders Keepers and Lana, get rid of them. Surf Jam, get rid of, and Let's Go Tripping, get rid of. So that's 4 tracks. 5th track, get rid of Honky Tonk. So
Yeah.
basically, the last 5 tracks on the album, I get rid of. and replace it with those 5 tracks.
I feel like Surfer Girl is kind of a perfect album as is.
Yeah, yeah. I don't dislike any of the tracks. I think it's a perfect
So
album.
instead, you could combine stuff from Little Deuce Coupe and Shut Down Volume 2 and have just one car album.
Okay.
Definitely take off Cassius Love versus Sonny Wilson.
Yeah.
Take off Denny's drums. That's just a little drum solo. And I guess you can put I like Spirit of America and Be True to Your School. You can put those on instead.
Actually, mine would be very similar. It would be basically what you said, but I'd also get rid of. Did you say Shutdown Volume 2? Part 2, I mean.
Oh. Yeah, why not take off Shutdown Part 2 and put on... Wait, is Shutdown already on one, I think.
Yeah. So, well, for me, my replacement for that song would be what you call it, Car Crazy Q, because that shows Brian Wilson doing a fun song, because normally he's more of the ballad guy, but it's always interesting to see the person who usually does one thing do another. So that'd be my track listing. So basically what you said, but that as well.
Where is Shutdown? Where is that song originally?
Surfing USA.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess we can take that one down and put it on the car album. Take that one off of Surfing USA. Put it on the car album. And you can put Cuckoo Clock instead, because that's Brian Wilson's first. Or you can put on, what else is on?
Country, not country. County Fair, 10 Little Indians, Chug-a-Lug, Little Girl, You're My Miss
Yeah,
America.
put on Little Girl, You're My Miss America instead. That one's good.
Yeah, that's a great lead vocal by Denny Wilson.
All Summer Long is perfect other than our favorite recording sessions. And just make it a 11-track album.
Yeah.
Or you can put on, what's something we haven't put on from Little Deuce Coupe here? Actually, I guess you can put Be True to Your School on All Summer Long. That would probably fit better there, because it's more, it doesn't go with the car theme.
I have a better idea. So keep the album version on the one we were just
Yeah,
talking
and put
about.
the single version on
version
All
with
Summer
the
Long,
cheerleader.
because we had that with Help Me Rhonda.
Mm-hmm. They did that with Help Miranda. It wouldn't be too far-fetched.
And you can even have that be the closer, because it's like all summer long we have all these fun summer things, and then we're going back to school with Be True to Your School.
That's a brilliant idea. I didn't even think about that. Christmas album, don't get rid of. Just don't.
Don't touch the Christmas album. And don't touch Summer Days and Summer Nights either. Even though I'm not too big on Amusement Parks USA.
Same with today. Those. Well,
Yeah,
get rid of
everything onward. Don't mess with those ones, but it's just those first few albums. They just released way too many and have a lot of filler stuff on them.
It's like if like the Beatles made a lot more earlier albums. Like if they had like an album between Please Blue Being with the Beatles, and they had an album between A Hard Day's Night and with Beatles for Sale. That's how I would.
Unfortunately, the Beatles had an album between A Hard Day's Night and Help. It was called Beatles for Sale.
And I didn't like that album.
Yeah, no. When my roommate and I were going through the Beatles discography, and when we got to Beatles for Sale, he was like, "This is the worst Beatles album."
People like to defend it. I don't see why.
It's only because there's a few good songs on it. It's mainly like the first 3. No Reply, I'm a Loser, and Babies in Black are great.
Rock and roll music I love.
I like I'll Follow the Sun. I know you said you're not too big on it, but I like that one.
I can see where you're coming from.
I don't like Mr. Moonlight, though. That song is awful. Other than like the first 5 seconds. The first 5 seconds are really cool, and then it changes.
I'm a huge Beach Boy. I already said it in your video, but I'm a early Beach Boy defender, like the albums. I'm also a big defender of the mid period after Smiley Smile.
Oh no, that's like their best stuff. Honestly speaking, like Sunflower and Surf's Up, so good.
That's Sunflower is my second favorite, and 2020 is my favorite. Those are
Yeah,
my
in
two favorites.
2020 and Friends, like so many good albums that like nobody ever talks about just because apparently after Pet Sounds, like the drug use and everything just made them all downhill and they just never listened to them.
Yeah, I can see why people don't like the stuff after Holland though.
No, the stuff after Holland is it's
We don't
terrible.
talk that. Besides, Love You.
Yeah, Love You is good even though it has some weird lyrics like pet her on the butt and stuff like that.
Ugh. I know what song you're talking about. It's "I Want to Pick You Up." That's
That song is so bad.
that's the only song on the album I disliked. Rather than that, that's a perfect album.
I liked that one a lot better the second time I listened to it.
Honk honk honk.
Honking down the gosh darn highway.
Oh man, you know what's funny is that "Good Time" is actually recorded for Sunflower, but wasn't on it. But then they
Really?
put it on that album.
Hmm.
Yeah, that song wasn't recorded in '77. It was actually recorded during the Sunflower sessions.
But oh, and the MIU and the Light album are just bad. And oh my goodness, Keeping the Summer Alive.
The awful self-titled
I
album.
wish I would. I wish I could never hear those albums again. I probably will never listen to those albums again. I don't know why I made myself listen to them again for the Beach Boys ranking video.
Oh
that-
man,
At least you don't own Summer in Paradise.
I wonder. It would suck for the person who owned it, right, Briar?
Oh yeah,
Right?
I know that. Mm-hmm.
At least you don't have it though, right, Briar?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, sure, yeah, sure.
You sure, Briar?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
And then like the album just creeps behind you, and I'm like, it's like
Yeah,
watch
no,
out.
And I don't know if you can see some little sweat coming down my face.
Yeah,
It's
It's
just,
like,
really,
you
it's
know-
just really hot. It's just really
you know
hot.
the
Don't
key
worry.
in-
Don't worry.
You know the Key and Peele meme with the guy with the key.
Oh, yeah.
Peele having like
Yeah,
the sweat down his
I
face. It's
know.
like it was like when they ask you if you own Summer in Paradise and you say no.
Okay, here's something I wanted to ask. Is there any new music you guys have been listening to lately? Because I listened to a little bit of new music today.
I have not.
Say there's two. Probably the two biggest ones that I mean. I talked about this person before. Let's see if I can find it. Let me get this one because this is her latest album. So this is Wise Blood. This came out last year, and yeah, I've been very much enjoying this album. This album and her previous album, which is called Titanic Rising.
Oh,
And
I
both
don't
these-
mean new music like released recently. I mean like that
Oh.
you've never heard before.
Oh, just never heard before. Oh, now sorry.
Okay, then
Have
I guess more. What have you been listening to lately?
Gotcha.
The
Okay.
most?
Okay. Yeah, just going through my collection, re-listening to some Beatles stuff, a few Queen, some albums I hadn't heard in a while, like Arthur by the Kinks was one of them recently. So it's kind of stuff in that line.
I love Arthur. That's
I
my second
listened
favorite Beatles album.
to the first half of The Court of the Crimson King today.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
I loved it. I didn't know
Good.
what I was going to think about it, but it was really good.
Nice, good. That's
Um,
good to hear.
The biggest fan of that album, but the album that you were talking about before that you didn't like, I agree. That album was
Oh no,
super
I also
overrated.
listened to the first 3 or 4 songs on the Velvet Underground, and I didn't like that.
Yeah, that album was super overrated. I'm sorry, brother.
I mean, personally, I love the album, but I understand. So I'm not.
The only one I liked was Sunday Morning, but everything
Even that
else,
song I don't like.
like, it got to the 4th song, and I just gave up on it because I didn't like it.
I've been listening to Rumors by Fleetwood Mac recently.
That's a great album.
That song though, in between Dreams and Don't Stop, that acoustic number
Oh,
is my favorite Fleetwood
Never
Mac.
Going Back Again.
yeah.
I love that
song.
one. That's so good, and it's like apparently the hardest one to play because Lindsey Buckingham, like his finger picking style, really hard to emulate.
That whole album is fantastic. The only song I'm not crazy about is The Chain.
I like the chain.
It's a good song, but I don't know. It was not a favorite, and when I
It has a
found
good
out
bass riff in there.
good.
Yeah, for me it's probably I know it's a popular one, but I'm not really big on Gold Dust Woman.
Me
Yeah,
neither.
I'm actually kind of the same.
My
Like
five
One
favorite.
of my
it's an
favorites.
alright way to end the album, but like I really like Christine McVie's "You Make Loving Fun." That song is so great.
I mean, yeah, Christine's my favorite member of the band, personally.
You guys ever listen to Fleetwood Mac's The White Album? Well, it's technically the self-titled album, but they had two
Oh
self-titled
yeah,
albums.
yeah. What's the song that Christine McVie does on that one?
Warm. So this one.
I know
You're
it's
talking about this
I
one,
know it's
right?
a really good one.
Yeah, I call that the White Album because they have
Okay.
a self-titled album in
So I know Christine
1968.
sings "Warm Ways," which is I love
It's
that
the
one.
it's the it's the big single on that album.
You
Vienna.
say you love me.
Say That You Love Me. That's the one.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
And
Rumors.
Rhiannon is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Rhiannon,
my five
Landslide's
favorite.
great.
I'd say my
Yeah,
five favorite
Landslide.
songs off Rumors though would be like five would be You Make Loving Fun.
Yeah.
Four would be Go Your Own Way. Number three, I'd say Don't Stop. My second favorite would be Secondhand News.
Okay, that's
What
good.
a-
Rap,
Okay.
rap, 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 da.
When I first heard that, I was like, damn. And I thought Sergeant Pepper opened up strong. But my favorite has to be Never Going Back Again.
That's a good song.
Good. Pretty good listening.
It's such a Beatles
Solid.
track. It reminds me of like Blackbird with the acoustic strumming.
Do
hear
do
that?
do 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 boom boom boom.
I don't know when
Down to
I don't know when I want to start doing my Paul McCartney series though. I will let you know though when when I get to Band on the Run, I'll ask you when you're free to do that with me. Because I remember you saying you wanted to do Band on the Run with me.
I guess you
No,
can do another
yeah.
series at the same time
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
ever get
I
tired
know.
of doing
I know.
solo
Me and Nick
Beatles.
are doing the birds, right? We're doing the birds.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Well, me and you, Garrett, were supposed to start Cream whenever you wanted to start doing that.
I've just been busy. I can only do
Yeah,
like
that's
one
fair.
video a week right now.
Oh yeah, when do you think you're gonna listen to Ballad of Easy Rider, Briar?
I already listened to it. I already have my notes ready.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I
Without
listened.
really giving anything away, did you like it?
Yeah. I actually was pleasantly surprised by it.
I listened to the Birds' first 4 albums, so I have thoughts on those ones. I still
Yeah.
need to listen to the Notorious Bird Brothers,
Mm.
But yeah, I'd say that's my second favorite of theirs.
Yeah, I think so. I think same here. I can't remember. I think me and Nick had the same number one.
Yeah, Younger Than Yesterday.
Yeah.
I watched your review on Dr. Birds and Mr. Hyde, even though I've never listened to that album, and it sounds really interesting.
It is a very interesting album to say the
It's
least.
like a weird period for the band.
Yeah, because they're going through lots of members.
It was the name that intrigued me, though. Dr. Birds and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
The album cover is very interesting too.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
popping out of their heads. Why
Mhm.
wasn't that the photo for Out of Our Heads by the Rolling Stones?
Oh my god, yes.
Mm.
That's what I like. Not the ones that are popping out of the heads, but the faces on the front cover is what I imagine. Like what John Entwistle and Keith Moon would look like if they made a music video on Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
I like that song. That's my favorite song on the Magic Bus album.
I love that track. Ballad of Easy Rider is a lot less. I like it better than Dr. Birds and Mr. Hyde, but it's not as interesting as Dr. Birds and Mr. Hyde.
That's fair. That's true. That's fair.
How many more Birds albums are there?
They have 12 albums. This would be their 8th album we're reviewing.
Okay.
So I think 7. I think this is their 7 actually. That we're gonna do next.
It's their 8th. Cause,
Oh wait. No, you're right. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, in the Birds discography, Mr. Tambourine Man is a great first album. It's classic. All the songs on it are good. Turn, 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 still good. Not as good as the first one, but I like it. I don't know why you guys didn't like The Fifth Dimension that much, because that was honestly my favorite of the first three albums.
Mm,
I thought it was cool and experimental.
okay. You like the Learjet song?
I actually did. I thought like it sounded like something that would be going on like if you actually went up in a jet. I thought it was cool that they put like jet noises in there. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe that's
If
my
there
that's
wasn't
my
any,
hot take.
if there wasn't any jet noises, I'd say it's just as repetitive as Fiddle About.
Hmm.
Um, Younger Than Yesterday was the best Birds album.
Did you like?
Yeah.
Did you like Mind Gardens?
No.
Oh,
The like I usually really like reverse guitar because I think it's cool, but there's way too much reverse guitar in that song, and it overpowered the instrumentation.
Yeah, I was kind of more middle of the road on that one.
that's my favorite song off the album. So,
I
what would you
like
say your 5 favorite songs on that album would be, as of right now? Just thinking of it.
I don't remember all of the songs. I just remembered I generally liked the album, but So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star is a great song.
Have
But
you
the
seen
whole
her
album was
face?
great.
Did you like CTA 102?
I did. I actually did.
Bravo to that.
I thought it
bravo.
was a very
Fair enough.
experimental. It's like we're gonna send a message out to aliens, and then at the end, it sounds like aliens are listening to the song. Like
Yep.
I thought that was pretty smart.
Yeah, that's Briar's least favorite song off the album.
I'm,
Which is
I'm
fair.
starting to realize. I'm starting to realize I'm not a fan of alien songs.
That's
Wait,
fair
there's
though.
another
It's-
alien song?
Yeah,
I
Space
mean, I like
Odyssey.
songs about space, but when it gets to aliens, I think okay, that's taking it way too far.
What
Yeah,
about Ziggy Stardust?
Yeah, but at least the music's good.
I think
It's
I
about an
think you.
alien.
I don't think you're not gonna like. I think you're gonna like Space Odyssey, Garrett. Saying from the ones that the experimental.
Which one
songs
is
you
that
did.
on? Is that on Notorious Bird Brothers?
It's the last song on the album.
Okay.
It's Briar's least favorite song on the album, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe you might say it's your least favorite too.
I'm gonna stop at Notorious Bird Brothers. I just needed to listen to it.
Hmm. It's their most cohesive. I do agree with
Yeah.
Briar when he said that.
Because doesn't Crosby leave after that?
Yeah, well, he
Pretty
was
much.
sort of leaving on the album, like very little contributions from him. I still consider it to be a Crosby album, Crosby era album, but
Even if he was turned into a horse.
Yeah.
he was magically turned into a horse just for that album. They didn't.
Across
They
the
didn't want to.
dimension.
Yeah. He was transported. He was transported to the fifth dimension. He was younger than yesterday, and he was turned into a horse.
They brought him in on the Learjet.
Yep. He was the Mr. Tambourine Man.
They said, "Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, so you want to be a rock and roll star?" So they stuffed him in a Learjet. And okay, that's too many Birds references.
Yeah. Oh man, the Birds are probably like my second or third favorite American band. I'd say Buffalo Springfield's better though.
I like Buffalo Springfield. They're good.
Mm.
You should listen to their second album because their second album's brilliant.
I need to.
But yes, well, going back to the Kinks though, there's only like two.
Ba, 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 ba,
To me,
ba, ba.
there are only two essential albums you should check out: is Something Else and Musical Hillbillies. Those are the last two I'd say you should really check
Okay.
out.
Okay.
Something Else has David Watts and Waterloo Sunset. Those two songs alone make the album great. It's just like the other 11 tracks in between. Well, yeah, the other 11 tracks in between just make it even better. That's why it's my third favorite Kinks album.
All right, I'm going to take a minute here since we're an hour and 20 minutes into the video and say for anybody who's watching right now, please go subscribe to Townsend 909 and Briar's Music Showcase. Those guys right there, we would really appreciate the subscription for it.
I appreciate it.
Okay, getting back to the music.
Yeah, I'd say the music that the Kinks made from 1966 to 1970 is just amazing. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think they're too old to make great music now, but I don't think they'll ever come as close to that ever. especially Village Green Preservation Society. I'm so upset
We
that
are the
they wanted that to be a double album, but their records weren't selling enough, so they denied it. And I'm so sad because that would have been an amazing double album. I listened to the bonus tracks, and there's so many amazing bonus tracks, and that album. That's why it's one of my favorite albums of all time. That album and the Who Sellout. Like my only problems with those two albums is that they're too short. Like they both would have been amazing double albums.
Nick, do you have a top 10 albums of all time list for you?
I gotta relook at it because I posted it on the group chat a while back, and hold on, you guys could talk about whatever for now. Just gotta find
I
it.
mean, I'm working on a
guessing-
top 100 series, so I'll save it
Okay.
till then.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you going to be doing an Eagles ranking soon?
That it's in the works. I'm kind of that's one of the albums was one of the things I was listening to all month was going back to the Eagles catalog. I listened to the first 3 albums so far, just getting notes. But I'm planning to do something similar to what I did a video on Kate Bush earlier this year. I'm planning on doing something similar to that. So it's gonna take some time to finish
Okay.
that one.
With the Eagles, I actually like their last 3 albums better than their first 3 albums.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you.
Now, the first 3 albums have some great singles on them, but
Mm-hmm.
and Desperado was great.
Yeah, Desperado's good.
Although
have you listened to Longer Without Even Eating yet?
no, all 6 of the original albums are really good though.
Yeah.
Like, there's none that I don't like. It's just there's some I like more than others.
Right. Yeah. That's how I feel too, as of right now.
And I like
yeah,
On the
if you-
Border.
Yeah. But yeah, if you ever do get Longer Without Even, it's a long album.
I don't know.
Yeah. Pretty much it's the same reasons you don't like Exile on Main Street. Like that's the reason why
Oh,
I don't
no.
like Longer Without Even.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Briar. I tried listening to that album again. I couldn't.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
That album, this is just coming from a diehard Beatles fan. I'm way more into the Beatles than I am.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Don't worry about it. I get it.
I don't even know if I want to ever listen to that album again. I barely made it through it once.
Yeah, I tried.
To me, I think it has some of Charlie Watts' best drumming. Honestly, I mean, I really paid attention to his drumming. His grooves on that album is just spectacular, and I love the piano playing on the album. Like it was either between Nicky Hopkins or Ian Stewart, and I was
Boogie
just
with Stu.
yeah, I was like hearing his piano playing. I'm like, oh, this is good. And there's some horns on some tracks I liked, but yeah, that's just me.
Here's my opinion though. Nicky Hopkins should have been a full-time Who member.
Good point.
Like people often say, "Oh, fifth Beatle this, fifth Beatle that," but Nicky Hopkins is what I consider to be the fifth Who member.
Rod Argent played on Who Are You?
Yeah. Well, found my top 10. Well, I made a top 25 album, so I'm just gonna do the 10 because yeah. Some of them you're not gonna know. A couple of them, I think. Number 10, Picking Up the Pieces by Poco.
Okay.
One of the
I've
band
heard
members.
Poco.
One of the band
Oh
members
yeah,
from
Timothy Schmidt, wasn't he? In...
And I think Randy
Yeah.
Meisner was also in Poco at one point.
one of the band members of Buffalo Springfield, one of the lead singers, formed that band, and it's brilliant. Number 9, Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel.
That's a good
Okay.
album.
Yeah.
Number 8, Paul Simon Songbook. Paul Simon Songbook by Paul Simon. Number 7, Aftermath by the Rolling Stones, the UK version.
Okay.
Always got to be specific about that. Number 6, Deja Vu by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Yeah, that album went really up on my list. Number 5, Would You Believe by Billy Nichols.
Not
It's
the Hollies.
huh?
Not
Oh
the
no,
Hollies.
it's not. It's a Holly song / album, but it's an album by Billy Nichols. He was a British artist in the '60s who took big influence from Brian Wilson's Pet Sounds, and you should check it out. It's basically like his Pet Sounds. I'll show you
Okay.
the album cover. Hold on 1 second. It's very rare. One thing that I really love about the album too is that it was produced by Steve Marriott from the Small Faces, and
Okay.
yeah, another and two of the tracks had the Small Faces as playing the music for him. One of them being the title track, "Would You Believe," had Steve Marriott as a backup vocalist, and also basically it's basically a Small Faces song except Billy Nichols is singing it. Well, it wasn't written by them, but yeah, you would allow that. Yep. This album is extremely rare. There's like only like 1,000 or so of
Oh
them
wow.
around. It's
Oh,
super rare.
do you
If
have it?
I wish,
Oh,
uh,
Mhm.
maybe if I ever save enough money to buy one, I will. But for now, I don't have it. But and then there's another song called "Girl from New York," which has Steve Marriott playing the guitar, and man, he is rocking the heck out of the guitar. I would say a swear word, but I don't want to get your video taken down, I want demonetized or whatever. Number four, Evolution by the Hollies. Number three, Ogden's Nut Gun Flake by the Small Faces. Number two, We Are the Village Green Preservation Society. And of course, my number one favorite album of all time, Presents by Led Zeppelin.
what? That's crazier than putting Gallows Pole at number 69.
No, the Who Sell Out, of course.
All right. Cool.
I'd have to think about my top 10.
Yeah, a couple of these, like three of the albums that were on my list, my top 10 list, well, well, to me, recently is like months ago, but like to me, like three of these albums, like even though I heard them just recently, which some people might not call like 3 or 4 months ago recently, but to me, that's recently. That's how fast time's been going. But even though I've just been listening to these albums recently, that's how great these albums are. Is that I would put them high. Anyone interested in what my 25 through 11 is?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I'm not going to go as long with the explanations. 25 for certain because. 24 physical graffiti. 23 permanent waves
Mm,
rush.
okay.
22 Arthur. Number 21 2020 by the Beach Boys. Number 20 Abbey Road by the Beatles. Number 19 My Generation by the Who. Number 18 Revolver by the Beatles. Number 7 All Things Must Pass by George Harrison. Number 16 Butterfly by the Hollies. Number 15 2112 by Rush. Number 14 A Quick One by the Who. Number 13 Signals by Rush. Number 12 Small Faces 1967. And then my 11 picks would be Songs in the Key of Life by Stephen Wonder.
It's a
Mm,
good album. I don't know
good
why you
choice.
didn't think of that one though when we did our
I
essential
know.
1970s
I
album.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed that I put Pete Townsend over that album, even though Pete Townsend I think is a better songwriter than Steve Marriott. I'm just Steve Marriott.
Steve Merritt.
I had very little
Yeah,
Steve.
what if Stevie Wonder was the lead singer of the Small Faces?
Imagine? Oh no.
That'd be some funky Small Faces songs
Oh
there.
boy. Oh yeah.
I can just imagine up there with the sunglasses playing the piano, singing "Lazy Sunday Afternoon."
Oh my god, that would be fun. That would be fun. Yeah.
Bum, 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 da-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, I could see why you weren't as crazy about the Paul Simon songbook though, because ultimately it is just the demo album, but I have more personal connection with that album, so that's why I put it a lot higher than most.
That's fair.
Mm. Does anyone want to see my new CD player now?
That's
Sure.
yeah. C.
Okay, I'm gonna have to test something real quick. Can you hear me here?
A little bit.
Yeah, I can hear you.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little.
Is it too quiet?
I mean, it's quiet, but I can still make out what you're saying.
Oh, oops. I'm gonna have to move the mic with me.
Okay.
Yeah, be all
Okay.
professional. Like a
I'm gonna
real
show
news
my
guy.
CD player. Wouldn't
You know,
it
I
be
did broadcast
nice
journaling in high
getting home
school.
with me neighbors?
I almost
I
want
hated
to
it.
show you guys a couple of songs from the Billy Nichols album because I feel like you guys would appreciate that album.
Hmm. Yeah, it sounds interesting. What genre is it?
It's rock. It's like Pet
Oh, okay.
Sounds. It's very Pet
Gotcha.
Soundsy.
Gotcha.
I want to show
Oh,
you two of the songs though with the small faces though. Because I want to see how you guys would feel about that.
okay. I mean, it sounds
It's
like
one of
Pet
those
Sounds.
things where
Like
it's
something
one of
else.
those things where it's like if you don't like the song, you're not gonna like the album kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
We would have to do that after the stream because it would block my video.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm going downstairs. It's my Pink Floyd posters.
Nice.
If I were to get a poster, I would get a poster of John Entwistle on the Who Sell Out album cover.
Oh, okay. That'd be nice.
These
Yeah,
came with the Dark Side of the Moon, though.
Yeah, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
Band on the Run poster.
It's that you know that meme where it's like I fear no man but this,
My
and it's like
Odds and
inserts
Sods
this.
poster.
Yeah.
The Who right there. My Styx poster.
Nice.
Simon and Garfunkel poster.
Man,
Bookends,
place is
right?
all decked.
Doobie Brothers poster.
I barely got anything in this room.
Those are all just
Why
going
didn't-
up and down the stairs.
The only two impressive posters I have is the
Abbey
Legend of
Road.
Zelda poster I have in front of me, and this UFO poster you can kind of see on the side.
I forgot. Did you like the second Legend of Zelda game?
Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link?
Yes.
No.
Yeah,
I like it, but it's just way too hard.
I haven't played it, but I kind of want to play it one day, even though I know it's hard.
Yeah, I only beat it once.
Okay. Here we are.
Oh, okay.
This is my new CD player. And I've got my cheat sheet here, and you can see my speaker over there. Pull up what song I want to play with the CD jukebox cheat sheet. Just need to turn my receiver on. There we go, power up. And then you can open it up and insert the discs.
Wow, that's cool.
Lazy Sunday afternoon.
So, what do you want to hear? Oh, actually, what's cool is that if you want to just play a CD, you go to the single slot, just put it in the single load slot right here, and then push play, and it will.
Yeah, that's way more impressive than mine.
Do you have the Who one? The
Oh, I
Who,
I don't have the Who by numbers in here.
Do you have any Who albums in there?
No. I have Billy Joel. Here's what I have. We're not going to do Beatles because that'll block.
Oh, yeah.
Bridge Over Troubled Water. I have Journey. Lots of Journey. I have Star Wars soundtrack. I have Billy Joel. ELO's Greatest Hits. Toto 4. Chicago. Lots of Chicago. The Joshua Tree by U2. 1984 by Van Halen. Bon Jovi's Greatest Hits. Some of these are my roommate's CDs. Frank Sinatra, Michael Jackson's Thriller. I got some Genesis and some Phil Collins. I got So by Peter Gabriel. Yeah, let's play some Sledgehammer.
All right, let's do it.
It's disc number 52. Track 2. Volume. Yeah.
Great bass playing by Tony Levin.
Okay, that's gonna be enough before I get copyright strike. But
You know what's the problem though is that I always wanted to do a Who versus Beatles night like on my channel, like stream, like kind of like what we did with the Led Zeppelin versus Who. But I knew if I did that, like my stream would get taken down like almost
Right.
immediately.
yeah, no, the
Yeah.
Beatles block almost immediately.
Yeah.
The Who
far,
doesn't.
so far, my video is doing okay because I did incorporate a little bit of Beatles in my latest video.
Led Zeppelin blocked my video, or they didn't block it. It's actually, you can still watch it. It just got cut off at the end. But the song that did it was "That's the Way." I was surprised.
Well, it's kind of. I think it was sort of like what Reactions to the Classic would have happened on their channel, except it usually happens for them on the 2 hour mark.
We were about 2 hours in.
Yeah, so it was allowing us to do it. It was just just.
That's the way. That's the way it ought to be. Oh yeah, have you guys seen like my sound system yet?
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
that. Yeah, I saw that.
There's my wall of fame.
Mm.
My record players.
Wait, Presence isn't on the Hall of Fame?
No, it's not. Oh, there's my blown away poster in the background.
Oh man, well, Presence is just that much of a good album. It can't be on that wall.
It's the best album ever made.
No, Summer in Paradise is the best album ever made.
Yeah, that album is so good. None of us want to buy it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so good that they can't make enough copies to meet demand. Like, so they just gave up.
Yeah, that's just how good it is.
I was the lucky one.
Like these amateurs like Sergeant Pepper's and Thriller selling millions. Like only bad albums can sell millions. Summer in Paradise though, and Mardi Gras, man, those are the true albums for true music fans.
Those are so bad.
I posted a comment on the group chat that Rumors is a band dysfunction album that worked perfectly.
Yeah.
Mardi Gras is a band dysfunction album that worked garbage.
Yeah.
That album is awful.
Garbage.
I'm sorry, it's just bad.
Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Boom, boom.
Many times I love, and many times I listen.
I
However it
can't
goes.
forget.
And many times I walked out on the open road.
It's funny. Usually, I'm the one who usually picks the deep cuts. Like normally, it'll be like me saying the Rain song's the best, and I would usually it would be like Garrett that would say like Over the Hills and Far Away would be the best song, but it's like the opposite this time. I'd say the hit song's the best song on the album.
Well, I guess the big hit was Jamaica.
Even then, that's my second favorite song on the album.
It's good. I like that one. I like John Bonham's drumming on that song.
Yeah.
That's one of my dad's favorite songs.
Do 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 do.
Yeah, the songs that my dad does like really much, I'd say his favorite albums would either be Four or House of the Holy.
Do my bad Robert Plant impression of Kashmir. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my god! Imagine if Steve Marriott did covers of Led Zeppelin songs?
I can do Robert Plant doing covers of Small Faces songs.
Imagine if Steve Marriott did "Thank You" though. How amazing that would have been.
If the sun refused to shine. I don't even. That doesn't even sound like Robert Plant. I'm just trying to sound like him. I probably sound like me, but I'm trying to sound like him. Oh, you can do Bob Dylan doing the Immigrant Song though.
I am coming.
We come from the land of the ice and snow, in the midnight sun where the hot springs blow. Hammer of the gods, we drive our ships to new lands. I don't remember the words, sing and cry, Valhalla, I am from the east. Always singing, rushing on, something something from the western shore. But on do 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 do.
I made a joke. I made a joke on your Wonderwall cover saying Dylan sings Hollies.
Oh no.
Because there's the album called Hollies Sing Dylan.
Yep.
Dylan sings Hollies. You know what's funny is that when I first heard the Hollies Sing Dylan album, I'm like, oh no, this album's gonna be garbage. It's the first album without Graham Nash. It's a cover album. This is gonna be garbage. But then when I first heard it, I'm like, you know what? This isn't bad. I actually quite like it.
All of my love, all of my love, all of my love to you. Boom, boom. I want to see if I can. Does that even sound remotely like Robert Plant, or does it just sound like me trying to do an impression?
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay, so it's not that good. I want to see though if I tried to have him sing a different song, what would? Because I did this for Jacob Martin, but I had Michael McDonald singing "I Can't Tell You Why" by the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to make that video. I just need. I'm gonna try to perform it live here. Give me just a few seconds. This may be. I just gotta find. Okay, here we go. And I don't know if this is actually going to come through or not. If this is cringe, stop me. But I'm going to do it. Michael McDonald, a warm up. Here we go. Look at us, baby, up all night. Girl, I get lonely too. Are we the same two people who live through years in the dark? Oh, every time I try to walk away, something makes me turn around and stay, but I can't tell you why. Okay, was that bad? Was that bad?
It was funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, it's a just singing. Voice hasn't warmed up yet.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I shouldn't make that video. All right.
I mean, it's good that you cut it out when you did, because I know the Eagles are also notorious for blocking.
Well, A, that was a karaoke cover, and B, that song was written by Timothy Schmidt. It's the Don Henley ones that get blocked.
Naturally.
Of course. Henry Pond had no fun. Had a face like a currant bun. Sad adolescent little fella was nicknamed by his friends Old Yellow.
This might be a good time to end the stream. I feel like we're just getting to the dark recesses of whatever we have left.
Yep.
All right, thank you guys for watching.